Greetings lords and welcome back to another War and Order video. My name is Eagle and in this video we're gonna tell you exactly how you can protect your base, your troops and your resources all in a comprehensive guide on how to protect your castle in War and Order. So this guide will be focusing on how to actually minimize your losses even if you were attacked or you were just completely not logged in or logged off the account, or how to minimize your losses in terms of troops and resources, and how to gain the best scenario out of each attack that is happening or each defense scenario that you're currently on this game. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, so to start off, the first and most easiest way that you can actually protect your base is simply by activating a peace shield. What happens when you activate a peace shield is that no one will actually be able to attack you or scout you, so they won't know, or they won't be able to know exactly what the hell is going on within your base, if you have your troops there or not. Even if you have your troops there, they won't be able to attack them, your resources will be completely protected, and everything will be fine. But there's another thing that you can actually try out, which is basically a battle fog. And the thing about battle fog is that your enemies will not be able to scout you. So that means that your troops will be unknown to the enemies. So you could have a trap base, which is basically a castle that has a lot of troops in it. So when you attack it, you're actually losing the fight, not winning it. So that means it will prevent some enemies from attacking you. But that doesn't mean it will prevent all the enemies from attacking you, because simply some of them will actually start rallies. And if you're offline, then definitely they will be able to take down your base, especially if they are strong enough. Now, what you could do as well is another thing, which is basically, as you can see right now, my marches are currently out gathering. But let's say if I were to go AFK right now, what would happen to my base? So my idle army right now, which are currently in my castle, are 86k. And my wounded capacity, which is my hospital capacity, is 42k. So the rest of these will be going to the sanctuary. I'll be losing a small portion of, but overall, this will not be a bad trade for me, because what will happen is that when the enemies attack me, they're going to be actually losing troops when they're attacking, because whenever you're attacking, you're going to be permanently losing your troops. So what will happen over here in this scenario is that half of my troops capacity will go to the wounded section in the hospital, and the other half almost will go to the sanctuary, which I can heal both with just resources. However, my resources will not be protected, which means that I could lose all the resources that are above the depot's capacity. So that means there's definitely another way to actually protect the resources or your troops. And how is that? Well, that way is just simply sending your troops of large marches all the way to alliance building that is called Alliance Fort, which is basically your alliance fortress. And you can access that through the alliance building section. If you click over here, you would know exactly where that fortress is. And once you reinforce this fortress with these rest of the troops, what will happen is that these troops that I just reinforced the fortress with will be, the enemies will not be able to attack them, because this structure, the enemies basically can't attack them. And what will happen is that they will be completely safe over there without having for me to worry about any of these. Let's go ahead and return those troops right now to say that there are more ways to actually do that. It's not always just the alliance fort, but there are also other ways that you can actually protect your troops. You can send your march, this specific march over here, instead of the alliance fort, you can send that to a player's base that is from your alliance that activates a shield. So for instance, if we take a look right around us over here, we can't say a single base that activates a shield from my alliance. But for instance, let's say this guy is from my alliance and they have a shield on, then I can send my troops to this base as reinforcements, and that march will be protected. But I will need a couple of information in order to know that. The first thing is that I will need to know exactly when that shield was up and how much time is left on that shield and where's the location of that base. So in order to help, we have, for example, in our alliance, a channel called shields over here. And you can see that if we go down a little bit, that's the channel. So what happens is this, in this channel, when I activate, for example, a 3-day shield or a 1-day shield, I will write the exact time of when this shield was activated, and my base, so that other players who are there would know exactly where my coordinates are, and they would actually send some marches in order to reinforce my base and protect their troops without activating their shields. And the reason why players do that is because they want to conserve as much gems as possible, because activating those buffs over here, if we go to buffs and peace shields, they actually cost a lot of money. Even if you buy them for a discounted price, they still are pricey, and if you have like to have them all the time activated, then it's gonna cost you a lot of resources and gems. So in order to avoid that, players always do these. There are two more ways that you can actually do that, is through sending your troops into your alliance elite mines, but this is a little bit risky, especially in realms that attacking elite mines is kind of allowed. So make sure to, depending on your realms rules, to know exactly if you can do that or not. But you can also, what you can do is start a fake rally to someone that is completely all the way like really in the kind of this section of the map. So if I start a fake rally on this account over here, this account is probably not playable by anyone. So what will happen is that the rally will go all the way there, and it will take so much time for the rally to actually reach there, and it's like probably an hour and a half forward and then an hour and a half back, and that time saves me for about 3.5 hours to 4 hours of idle time of my march not being able to be attacked and my troops being protected. So that's another way where you can actually save your troops without having to shield up, and they will be completely hidden without any problems. Now, all of this, if you use all these together, which is basically doing fake rallies, reinforcing alliance structures like forts and elite mines, depending on your scenario, or reinforcing players who are already shielded up, if you use all these, then you definitely don't have to use any peace shields anymore, unless you have a massive amount of troops that you would like to protect, or a lot of resources that you would like to protect, because all these don't actually give you a protection for your resources, because when you attack, basically they will still be able to take down your resources. But one thing that I do recommend when you're actually sending your troops to the alliance buildings is that do not send troops of high tiers over there. So if I were to send some troops over here, I would keep the high tiers in my building and then send the low tiers. So I would do exactly this over here, for instance. So always make sure to send the low tiers rather than the high tiers, because you need the high tiers to stay in your base and stay under the hospital capacity or around it, so that they would actually be able to protect your base. You'll get positive traits for defending your base this way, and you will avoid players from just plundering your base with multiple attacks in order to get your resources, or for your alliance to actually reinforce you in time and you not losing anything in return. So I hope this was kind of a comprehensive guide for you guys to know exactly how to hide your troops and protect your base and resources from all of this. But if you have any questions regarding this, or if you have any extra tips that you would like to give the community, please make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and we will definitely see you on the next video. Bye bye.